I can tell you, nothing looks good, sounds good, feels good at 2 a.m. Um, Last night I was just really overthinking a lot. I have a lot on my mind. I'm trying to figure out a lot of things for the future. I know that obviously I can't solve anything right now. There are steps that I can take and things that I can do to help move certain processes along or to make certain decisions or to help feel a bit more grounded. But at this moment, right now, I can't fundamentally like change everything completely. So that's something that I also need to keep in mind for myself. And then concerning my move back to the States, essentially, now that I have an idea of what I want to take with me, a bit closer to the time, I'm gonna contact a moving company, which my friend recommended, and kind of get a like full-on estimate of how much is it gonna cost to move these certain things. And of the list of things that I'm thinking about moving, are there things that I should leave out or that I can add in given how much it costs for space on a container? What my friend explained is basically it takes about 2 months to get your stuff back because they wait until the container is full if you yourself are not filling a container, which I definitely am not. And then it will go by sea and then it gets delivered to you on the other side once it arrives. So that's completely fine for me. And then in terms of the travel, so from the time my mom arrives to when we both leave next year, we have about 80 days. So I can literally like just pack a bit every day with her moral support and also actual muscle because she's quite good with packing up until I'm ready to leave. Ideally, I want to have most things pretty much packed up and ready to go by 15th August. And then those final 2 weeks, I just have like necessities outside of things that I'm still using or that I'm planning to sell or give away anyway. And then I'll see how many suitcases I can take with me, but maybe not too many because if I'm already paying for space on the boat to ship the stuff, then I'll try to put stuff in boxes so that can go using that route as well. In terms of timelines, I should hear back from the program. I don't know how soon, like I feel like from what I see online, they give you a decision somewhere early next year, so that's like Jan or Feb, even though I've already applied since September, so it'll take me about, beginning of September by the way, it'll take me about 6 months to get a response. So I'll try not to go stir crazy in the meantime and just be patient and wait and see what the outcome there is. I feel pretty positive about it, and I feel like I have to be positive about it because if it's something that I want, then I have to believe that it has the possibility to come through and come to pass. Depending on the outcome of the program, it will shape like, well, how close to this like program do I want to live, since that I'll need to, go to the course essentially. Also, if it's a like full-time program, what's the schedule like? Should it be full-time? Should it be part-time? I'm leaning towards full-time because I really want to get it done in 1 year, and therefore what can my work schedule look like, because I would like to work alongside the studies. Also, visibility on praying and thanking God for a full scholarship to do the program, so that would be great. That's also something to see how that will unfold and what the proportions are there. And yeah, housing. Housing is the biggest thing on my mind right now. I have a really great apartment here, and I can say that comfortably because I had not so great, I mean, they were okay, like rooms that I had when I first was a student and when I was doing my internship, and then a studio that I was in for a couple of years. Really good standard. I'm so happy and comfortable with this apartment. I wish that I could like fold it up, put it in my pocket and take it with me, like just transport or teleport this apartment as is, because to find something like this at this price point in New York, good luck. Like my cousin was sending me links to apartments yesterday and oh my goodness, what are they like renting to people in New York for these exorbitant prices? I saw an apartment at the same price point as my apartment and it's the size of my living room, and it had this oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna go into descriptives of it. It just was not appealing on any level at all. And I think like if this is where the bar is at for housing in New York, then my goodness, I may have to adjust my expectations a bit, but I also need to be flexible about areas. But then I also need to keep in mind I don't want to be too far out because I'd still have to commute. And people should not underestimate how much of their lives commuting takes up. So that's also something that I'm keeping in mind. Last night I was like booking the flights to go back to the States at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. My mind was just going. I've been like in the hyper overthinking mode lately, just as I try to figure out what to do next. My mom is concerned about me because she's like, you seem like you have a lot on your mind. You seem quite occupied and a little bit worried. And she's not wrong. Occasionally it gives me like a mild headache and she's like, you need to take it easy. I don't want your blood pressure to be high thinking about everything that you need to do. But at the same time, I think compared to the way that I know myself and have known myself in the past, this is me being calm. My time is not necessarily God's time. Like he has the bigger picture. He knows the plan for my life. Everything is unfolding as it should. And I just need to learn patience and I need to build my faith in this season and just do my part for what I can do and what is within my control and not try to control everything else. So that's what I'm working on right now. And yeah, I'll see how everything will go and just try to stay positive and be optimistic. And I know you're probably thinking, well, you're the one who's deciding to move back home. Also the uncertainty around like, okay, I'm moving back, but like, where exactly am I going? What exactly am I doing? That is also something weighing on my mind. And the circumstances around like why I am going, like I'm not gonna go so much into detail about it, but as I had said in previous videos, essentially me transitioning from my old role to what I'm doing now, I told myself it's either the thing or the thing that leads to the thing, and now I'm in a place where it feels less like the thing and more like the thing that leads to the thing. So maybe this is the catalyst or there's a word, I can't remember the conduit to why I am now essentially moving back home. So there's a lot kind of happening behind the scenes and like in my mind and things that I'm thinking and processing that is, I don't want to say it's weighing heavily on me, but it's requiring me to put in thought and effort and give it a lot of consideration. So I guess that's all I wanted to say for now. I will provide updates as things unfold and develop. I do have to give myself quite some credit for all the things I managed to get done over the last couple of weeks in a short space of time. After 9 years, I'm gonna leave what I know behind and completely move back. And even though you're moving back to your home, in a way you're starting over and you're trying to go back into a life that doesn't exist in the way that you left it. So it's kind of like creating a new life in a familiar place. So that'll be interesting, but I feel like I've been feeling this coming on for some time. I think it was 2019 where I already had in mind like, I'm ready to move back home. Let me see how I can make this happen. And at that time, I started, putting things into place and trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to apply to? What would I like to do? What is my timeline for moving back home? I was doing all the preparations, but then obviously in 2020 was the pandemic and all these different things were going on and the process for what I was working on got delayed. But then in the end, it didn't work out as I had foreseen. So I just scrapped that. And then I was just like, okay, then I guess I'm just going to stay here. But then in the back of my mind, I kept playing like, but do you want to stay here? Maybe you want to go back. How can you make that happen? How can you make it work? And then now I feel like I've kind of come full circle back to the idea of like, hey, maybe it's a good idea to go back home. And maybe it's a good idea not to brush that feeling and thought aside and really pursue it fully and see how you can make it work. I'll leave it there. I'm pretty sure that's my stomach that's growling, so definitely gonna have something for breakfast, and then I'm gonna continue my day, and yeah, just see how the rest of the day goes. Try to take it easy, because I definitely don't want to be having any headaches because my my mind is racing, or I'm thinking too much, or I'm over analyzing anything. I just want to take it easy. And for now, everything that I could have done in terms of planning or arranging for what I need to do or needs to happen over the course of the next year has already been done. I'm really efficient. I'm someone who, like, once I get the idea, I'm like, when can we do this? How soon can we start? And I'll like do it. So as I said, application already completed for the program, tickets already bought to head back, already got some info on how to go about the packing and moving of things, already did the inventory on that, already booked my tickets for the wedding and like the trip that I'm really like super excited to go on. And now it's just, in the meantime, doing what I need to do here. It was like a message saying, like, even if things are changing, even if you're expecting to go to another level or to do something different, it's really important what you do now with your current time. You have to show God, essentially, that you are a good steward with what you have before you can ask for more. I am asking for more, or at least more as in different, but I have to show that I am managing what I have now, even if it's not what I want, because by demonstrating that, it opens the door for other things in the future. I realize I'm in a transition season. This transition season hasn't necessarily started like within the last couple of weeks since I started making these changes. I think the transition season was already pushing since last year. I often refer to last August, where I had this sort of shakeup where I shook things up, I should say, where I had quit my job and sort of ended this, I don't call it a relationship, but some sort of connection that I had with someone for like 4 years, where it really was not going anywhere and it just didn't add anything to either of our lives. I also had quit my Dutch class during that time, which was good because that led me to the Dutch tutor that I have now, because those previous Dutch lessons that I had in a group through the municipality, they were not it, at least not for me. So what I've seen is that ending things when it's appropriate to end them can only lead you to better things going forward. So you have to be cognizant of, like, this season is ending, let me not try to prolong it longer than it needs to be in my life. Let me be open to starting something new. So when I was trying to quit my job last year, August, I didn't quite quit, but it was a catalyst that helped me move into a better position that then was a bridge for me to get to a new company and a better role. When I left the Dutch classes, at the time I was like, oh, what am I going to do for Dutch now? I still want to have this as a key language. I had a conversation with a friend about that, and they introduced me to this great Dutch teacher who's my tutor now, which I'm so happy with. And that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't, like, gotten rid of the other Dutch classes that I was taking. And that change in the job and the role would not have happened had I not, I don't want to say threatened to quit, because I was really going to quit, but had I not been willing to, like, cut that off as well. And then even with that relationship thing or connection thing with that person, I haven't really necessarily seen that it has been replaced by something else. But sometimes things that end or that you cut off don't necessarily have to be replaced by something to be good or better. Sometimes that just needs to end to make space in your life for other things. Considerably more peace, and my mindset has shifted, and I can see more clearly, and I have a better understanding of what it is that I would want to attract and what kind of partner I would. Anyone that you bring into your life needs to be an additionality. And it can't just be that they're not taking away from you, but they actually need to add. They can't just be there for the sake of being there. And that I comprehend more clearly than ever before. So yeah, that's also something that opened my mind. And So that person wasn't replaced with another person, but it was replaced with a new mindset and a new approach to how to engage with, yeah, connections, relationships, partnership, whatever. I can see clearly now on that. I remember I was having a conversation with my cousin and she was asking me like, essentially like, am I content with what I'm doing? Does this feel right? How are things going? And I was like, I'm content. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But was I happy? Probably not. I didn't want to admit it at the time. I can admit that now. So at that time, like around me was changing, but inside was very rigid and not moving. And then now it's the opposite where I'm like, you know what? Actually, I need to change everything. It's time to, wipe the slate clean and start over in certain areas of my life. And now I'm ready to like move, and everything inside of me is like, yeah, ready to go, transitioning, whereas around me things are not changing as quickly as I might want it to, and that's where I am working on my patience during this period. So it's like ongoing inertia, but from different angles over the last 2 or so months. Anywho, really, that's all I want to say for now. Just looking forward to seeing how things will progress. I have a couple of things coming up. Okay, my stomach is still growling. I have my Frankfurt School exam for my digital financial services course next week. I believe that is Wednesday. So I'm gonna be studying a bit over the weekend. One of my friends is in town, so we're having like a reunion. A couple of friends have actually been in town during this summer at different points, which is quite nice. Especially because since I'm thinking of moving back, not thinking, since I need to really speak it firmly, since I'm moving back home next summer, I feel like this summer is really the summer of like everyone coming back and just having our time together after, a long time where some people have moved away. And then next year I'm moving away, so I'm glad that we can all reconnect while I'm still here. Really leave it here for now, and I'll be back with any updates as soon as I have them, and any ideas that also come to mind as I'm going through this transition season and process. So that's it for now.